What's up, YouTube? As you can see, things are a little bit different now. I ended up actually rearranging my studio yesterday because when you work from home and your commute is basically coming from your bedroom to your studio, or sometimes your studio is in your bedroom, you can kind of go a little bit nuts, because at least I can, because you're just seeing the same thing every single day. I do like to have new stimulus in my life. It's just part of, I don't know, it's kind of my personality type. So every 6 months to a year, I tend to just rearrange furniture, put things in a new place. It just keeps things fresh. It kind of feels like when I walked in this morning, I was like, wow, it's like a new studio. It's like a new place to work. So it just sort of like, I don't know, keeps me fresh, I guess, just creatively. So I love doing it. And obviously now, which is great, the window is now behind my monitors and computer and all that kind of stuff. So my light will be a little bit more even, hopefully, on my face, which is great. So that's really cool. Anyways, and I'm wearing a jacket because I keep it cold. For those of you that are having issues with keeping productive, I don't know, just for myself, when it's a little bit cold, I actually work harder. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe it's my Swedish ancestors. I don't know where that comes from, but I find when it's really hot and it's just, ugh, you know, that kind of just intense heat, I get sleepy. I don't know, I just don't feel like working a lot. When it's a little bit cold and I got to bundle up, for something about that just makes me want to work really hard. So again, another one of those kind of weird techniques that might not work for you, but try something new. Like if you're not happy with the amount of productivity that you're doing, you guys remember I put a video out a couple of months ago saying just wake up early. Try waking up at 5:30. If you're waking up now like at 7, 8, 9, try just going back maybe 30 minutes every day until you feel that part where it's like, okay, this feels good. I'm not like completely exhausted when I wake up, and I'm a little bit more energetic in the morning. So give that a shot and try working in the cold, basically. It's just one of those weird things. For me, at least, it works really well. Anyways, but that's not the point of this video. This video, I want to share something that I had just posted to the Syndicate group, which was about listening to empowering music. I had a band when I was in high school and, wanted to be a rock star and wanted to do all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really have a work ethic. I didn't really have a sort of determined drive, I don't think, back then. I think I just had more of a dream, probably a pipe dream, not a realistic dream. But it wasn't until I actually went to college, and I did study recording arts and music business, that I suddenly... But I will tell you, I probably learned a lot more just being in the industry, okay? So I'm not holding that as some sort of like accomplishment. In some ways, I regret taking that time being in college. In some ways, it was very helpful as well. I met a lot of great people, had a lot of great experiences, and actually learned a lot. But there's a lot of things you can learn just by doing. But anyways, I think that I would sort of say that my formative years, where I really developed my determination and drive to, no matter what, succeed in music. I didn't know it was music licensing back then, but I knew that music was going to be my career. I think that really formed in the couple of years of my college time there. And I remember there were a couple of artists and bands that I was listening to. Those are the days when the iPod just came out. And so everybody had the white earbuds in and everybody was just listening to music all the time. And so, of course, walking around campus all the time, you have 10, 15 minutes between classes to walk around. So you got bunch of music that you're just cranking out. Probably terrible for my hearing. But I remember there was one track in particular, and I'm actually going to post it below so I don't get copyright flagged. But you guys can check it out if you want to. It's called Determined by Mudvayne, which is a new metal band. I think the singer still has some work that he does, but the band itself, I think they've kind of went to sleep a little bit. I don't think they do much now. So they were probably a little more relevant 10, 15 years ago, so they're a little bit older now. But this track, it's got some cuss words in it, okay? So don't play it around the kids or anybody that shouldn't be hearing to it. And maybe if you're at work, put headphones on. But this is the kind of music that I was really into back then. I mean, this is just driving, aggressive, screaming metal rock music. But just the message of this track is basically just relentless determination. Obviously, that's with the title of the track kind of giving it away. But as you listen to this track, if you want to check it out, you'll feel this just driving, no matter what. We're going to knock out all complacency, and we're going to just do the work, drive forward. I don't care what it takes. I'm not making any excuses. I'm just busting through every obstacle, everything that gets in my way, everybody who says I can't do it, everybody who says it's going to be impossible, everybody who is just doubting and thinking this is not going to happen for me. Screw them. I'm just going forward. I'm just busting through this thing. I remember putting this particular track on loop. Like, I just was addicted to this song for a long time. and it just became basically a part of my personality to have this song in my head. What I'm sharing this for is I do think that like the music that you listen to, not just the genre, not just the sound or the style, but also the like lyrical content, the message of the music, the sort of there's definitely not a motivation. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a it's right on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it right now, but every artist intention, excuse me. Every artist has an intention for a track that they put together, for a song that they're going to sing, for an album that they're going to release, or for at least one particular song. And you normally can feel that intention with when you listen to the song, whether or not the lyrics always match up with that intention, sometimes a little bit more vague, and it can be interpreted in many ways. But the music itself normally conveys a specific emotion, which is the intention. So double check if you're not satisfied with your current level of success, you're not happy with where you are, or you're feeling a lot of self-doubt right now, and you're just like, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know. You're kind of in that little place. Listen or check out the kind of music that you're listening to on a regular basis. And if you're not listening to like any music, start listening to music. Okay, start listening to music consistently, regularly on your commutes. You know, if you're going to the gym, listen to music. Okay, you need to get inspired and pumped up. But also pay attention and be careful of the music that you're listening to. You don't want to completely, I don't believe, listen to music that's too full of like self-pity or kind of wallowing in pain or just kind of like life isn't fair sort of themes. You know, some of that stuff we can all, it's good once in a while to relate to that because obviously we've all felt defeated. We've all felt that way. But if you're listening to music all the time that always has that message, that seeps into your conscious and subconscious. I do believe this strongly. So that's probably not the best message to be getting locked into and getting synced up into with your personality, okay? Music like the track below might not be your cup of tea. Maybe you're not into this kind of music, but there's plenty of like empowering hip-hop tracks and EDM tracks and all that kind of stuff. But tracks that basically speak to the nature of no excuses, no BS, I'm going to win. I'm going to survive. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to get through these obstacles. Because I interact with so many people online, Facebook, here on YouTube, and most of you guys have this winning attitude. Most of you guys, you know, you're saying to me, you know, I will see with your actions, but at least in your words, you're telling me, you know, Jesse, I'm so with you on that. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to make it. And that's awesome. I really hope your actions are also following up with what you're saying. It's easy to say that. It's harder to do that. But I do surprisingly come across a lot of people who are like, yeah, but it's not fair. And yeah, but this doesn't work. And yeah, but nobody's giving me a shot. And it takes too long to get royalties. And streaming, they're not paying you enough on streaming. And wham, wham, wham. That's what I hear when I get those kind of reactions and comments and emails. Now, I do my best to, my job, I think as an educator, is to try to switch that around. I try to sort of help them maybe find a new perspective and not always just feel so self-defeated about their chances of succeeding, because I think Henry Ford was right when he said, whether or not you believe you can or you can't, you're correct. Either way. So having this sort of, well, it's I don't know, and that kind of like, it's like a mosquito. It sounds like a mosquito just whining. If that's where your head is, because maybe you're listening to that kind of music or you're not listening to just empowering music, you're going to look for the things in your future that will confirm that it was too hard and there are too many obstacles and it can't happen for you. You know, and then I feel like I didn't do my job because I didn't sort of knock that complacency out of you or knock that sort of like harmful mindset out of you. That's really not helping you at all. That's kind of why I made that video a couple days ago about like there's two sort of types of musicians. And I honestly spent like 5 or 10 minutes contemplating whether or not I should have even published that video, because I knew I'd be rubbing a lot of you maybe the wrong way. And I probably did. I can kind of tell there were some dislikes and some of the comments I got back. I really was interrupting a lot of self-talk that people have about their life and about their current level of success. And I have to do that, though. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, if you don't like to hear these messages, you can unsubscribe, and this is just not for you. And that's, hey, I'm not going to force you to watch these videos. I can't do that. But I feel like I have an obligation to tell the truth. I mean, that's kind of my sort of one of my biggest principles in life, is to be honest about, you know, like, I mean, people who have gotten feedback here on my YouTube channel and the syndicate can tell you, I'm not sugarcoating anything. Like if your track just isn't there, I'm going to tell you why it's not there and what you can do to make it better. So I'm not just going to say, you're awesome, keep going, great, and then you're not really making progress. I'm not going to sleep well at night if I'm giving you that kind of knowledge and advice. So I have to be 100% just real with you guys about what it really takes to succeed, where your tracks maybe aren't, hitting up to par. And this is definitely one of those things where I have to be honest that if you're looking for reasons why you can't succeed or why it's too hard or why there are too many obstacles, it probably won't work out for you, right? If that's what you're looking, if that's where your mindset is and you're not willing to change that, you probably aren't. How could you succeed if that's where you are? Because, I mean, I always think about the amount of dedication and just crazy drive that it took for like generations before us to create society, to discover new lands, to like go live in new places without any resources and having to just like leave your family for months or years or for the rest of your life. And we live in such incredible times right now. I sometimes when people are making excuses for why they can't succeed, I kind of just want to like bang my head against the wall because I'm like, you have no clue how easy it is. It's so achievable. It's so doable. And it's not really about necessarily working hard. I mean, there's definitely a part of it working hard, but just working smart, learning how to basically make the most amount of the best use of your time when you're producing. Okay. I'm not asking that you spend 8 hours finally adjusting all of your kicks and snares. No, a lot of this has to do with spend some time in the upfront looking for the right samples, drum samples, and then save those in a place where you can find them easily down the road so that you don't have to work hard every time you're starting to work smart, okay? I'm not asking you to go live without electricity for 20 years, okay, or leave your family behind and sail across an ocean to another land without any guarantee that anything's going to be there, okay? So we're talking about using modern technology to create awesome tracks and have fun with it. And sure, learning along the way and trying this, that's not working, let's try it again. But man, I sometimes think that getting some perspective and zooming out a little bit about like, is it really unachievable to do this? No, it's really not. And this is really not the hardest thing that humanity has ever been faced with, learning how to make a full-time income, licensing your music. It's not that difficult, honestly. It can be because I think a lot of people's mindsets just aren't in the right place. So I think maybe some more of this channel needs to be dedicated to that, because I can tell you about structuring tracks and using the right samples and mixing and mastering techniques and all that kind of stuff. And you can get excited for a week or a month or a couple of months. But at some point, you're going to hit that low point where you're like, I don't know, I'm not getting any royalties, and I'm going to go I'll go watch some other YouTube channels, and then that's it, right? You just kind of burn out. So the mindset wasn't right. You can have all the skills and techniques and tutorials, and some of the best producers I've ever come across in this industry are hot for 6 months, and then I don't see them again. Like they're gone. Like they have some awesome tracks, and then I don't see anything from them in a long time. Or they just sort of get lost on other projects or whatever happens. So it's really more in the mindset training than it is anything else. And I think that's something I should probably, as I'm just doing this video right now, realizing that should be something that I spend a little bit more time probably talking about. So anyways, guys, sorry for the long rant. Hopefully you found this useful. And yeah, check out that video below. If you're into that kind of music, put that track on repeat. I guarantee you're going to see some incredible changes happen in your motivation. And including, I'll talk about this in another video, using anger. Anger, a lot of people think it's a negative emotion and it's bad and you shouldn't be angry. And it's like, no, anger is a tool. Anger is a fire that you can basically tap into to unleash ridiculous, like ungodly levels of productivity. So I think anger should not be resisted. It should be embraced, but just harnessed, used as a tool to increase your productivity. I'm going to talk about that probably in a video or two down the road. Thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this.